Father Joseph White, welcome back to the show.
It's great to be here.
It's a different experience, right? We're closer now. We're not socially distancing.
I know. I feel like I don't have to yell anymore, or I can see you a lot closer.
It's like, hey, Rudy, how's it over there?
Rudy. I think we had to wait like 5 seconds between each response just for it to get over to each other.
Like we were doing it via satellite, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So how have you been?
Great. Yeah, I've been really good. I mean, it's been the best time of my life. I'm getting ordained June 5th. And so just almost about 2 months, and it's just been an incredible journey. Still very surreal that I'm a priest. And so it's been awesome. Been doing really well. Celebrating Mass, hearing confessions, everything, all the works. It's been awesome.
Still feel very new to you?
Yeah, definitely very new. Definitely very new. A lot to learn for sure.
Got that new car smell on you.
Yeah, exactly. The
oil's still on
the oil's still on there. Maybe still waiting for that first scratch to hit the side of the car. You're not really sure. Just get it over with, rip the Band-Aid type deal. But yeah.
What have you been doing the past year? So, because the last time we had you on, it was the middle of the pandemic. You were here for just a few months because you were going to go back to Rome to continue your studies. And there was a lot of uncertainty going on in the world at that time. So what was it like going back to the Vatican?
Yeah. I was fortunate. So I have a legal residence there. So that allowed me to go back to Rome and with virtually not too many issues getting back into Rome. And so it was good. At the beginning, there was hope at the beginning of the fall semester that, we'd have a pretty normal semester, just, have a mask on in church and then, and also a mask in school. But that slowly took a turn, in Italy, and their cases rose pretty high. So pretty quickly we were online.
Okay. So you weren't in like a bubble, like the NBA bubble.
We didn't get the NBA bubble. We were, we ventured out. So the place where I live it's its own like dormitory.
Okay.
So it's really just the place where we live, and then we take our classes somewhere else.
Okay.
So we go. I have a 30-minute walk across the city to get to my classes. And so there was no really way to bubble because we have, in my house, there's like 4 or 5 different universities people go to. So you had to go to different places. And so it was...
Oh, so it's not just one university. You're going class... Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Each individual usually only has one university they go to. But there's, of the 150 of us, some of them go to this university, some that. And so there's different ones. So there was no way to really bubble in the way that the NBA did or... other seminaries tried to do
like
as well.
the seminary here in Houston, they had their own bubble.
Exactly. So we weren't able to do that. And then Rome closed down schools, and we basically followed anything they said for their schools. So we, about 3 months there, it was what they called a red zone, zona rosa, and you couldn't leave your domicile was the rule. So you couldn't leave your house unless you had an essential reason, and you had to have a whole report that said why you were leaving and what you were going for. And so there was only certain things you could go for, like going to the supermarket. If you had a very particular job, they allowed you to go to work.
Okay.
And tobacco, because Rome runs on tobacco. So
tobacco.
So if you
the most obscure things, tobacco, right?
So they let you go out and get tobacco if you needed. But other than
here
that,
in Texas, it would have been like barbecue, I think. Right?
Barbecue, probably. That's probably a good call. I don't know. So yeah, then so we were stuck in the seminary for about 3 months, and we spent Christmas at the seminary and everything. There was no exit at that time, so you couldn't leave.
So even if you were in the Vatican, you still went to Mass online.
No, sorry, not Mass. We got Mass in-house. So we once they closed down, we had priests that we had Mass that we were in the chapel.
Good.
School
so you
was
were blessed.
online. Yeah, we were very blessed. We were very blessed. So that Mass, thanks be to God, was in person always. But school flipped to being online pretty quickly for a while. And so it was an interesting experience, and everything was kind of closed down. I mean, it's a unique place in Rome right now, and especially this past year. I mean, getting into St. Peter's Basilica, the main basilica in the Vatican, is usually like in a normal day of tourism,
it's packed. Yeah,
it's packed. You're waiting 30 to 40 minutes just to get inside the building.
Oh wow! I didn't know you had to wait that long to get.
Yeah,
wow.
it's free, but they have security to get in, and so it takes that long just to get in.
Wow!
But so it was incredible to experience. If I wanted to go in the afternoon, you just walk up, and it's a 5-minute walk because there's no tourism, so there was no people coming in and out. So it was just people who wanted to go pray for a little bit, and they were empty. I mean, it was just empty churches. So it was kind of a wild experience. And then, you couldn't get out to restaurants or anything like that, any kind of travel, because they were all closed. They were a lot more strict than they were in the United States. So it wasn't until I was leaving Rome that they just slowly started opening up, and at the end of May for outdoor dining only. And so it was kind of a long journey where you were only getting delivered food. I mean, I should have bought stock in the delivery company we would use at my seminary just for all the food that I ordered and we ordered in.
So only deliveries.
Only deliveries.
Or you cook for yourself.
And we have a nice kitchen staff that cooks really good food. But they're really good at Italian. They do great other stuff.
I wonder why.
It's curious, but they're very good. Even for like cooking for 150 people, it's amazing how well they can cook Italian food, and the quality is really good. But if you're wanting something else, you're wanting good American burger, you're wanting Chinese, you're wanting Mexican, you just can't.
Wow.
The kitchen's not going to provide you for that. So that's when you would order food in.
Okay.
And
is there a lot of variety there in the Vatican?
It's not like Houston, I'll tell you that. It's not like Houston. But you can find some stuff. And I tell people, it's like, you don't want to get something American or something you would expect to find in the U.S. like in your first 2 months back.
Why is that?
Because you still have a taste of what it tastes like in Houston. So you don't want to immediately go, because then you're going to be like, oh, it's not good. But once you have like 2 or 3 months away,
and you've forgotten it.
Yeah, you've forgotten, and your own like desire for it has taken over so much. Then you can order, and it's satisfying. So that's always my strategy. I give it a long time to go into the Italian food, get back to the really good Italian pasta, and then once I get tired of that, then I'm ready for some good Mexican or good Chinese that Rome has to offer.
We'll remember that, when we go and travel abroad.
That's right. Yeah, when you have 3 months in Rome, wait till the 3rd month to get the Mexican food. So.
Now, the last time you were here, you said that you were hoping on being able to do some pilgrimages. Were you able to go out at all or do any of that stuff that you wanted to do? Visit? I believe you said you wanted to visit Lourdes, I think, and you said you wanted to see the original image of Saint Faustina. Were you able to go at all? Or were you really stuck in
We were
Rome?
really pretty much stuck. I got two places I got to go in the whole time. So that was nice, but I didn't get to go. One of the places I always love going every October 1st is the feast of Saint Therese of Lisieux.
Yes.
And I always like going to Lisieux, North France, and going to the Basilica there for her feast day. It's a beautiful little French town, and then you can drive up to Normandy where the beaches of D-Day took place.
Yes, wow.
And so it's
so you were able to do that?
I was not. That's what I did not do. And that's what I always loved to do at the beginning. And I had everything planned, and it was open. But that right at the end of September is when everything in Europe just went back to shut down.
And that was shortly after you had arrived.
Exactly. So I got there, and then I had it all planned to go back, that I had done this tradition I had made for myself. And I just, it fell through right at the end. So I went to a little town, San Gimignano, so it has a saint there. It was just a getaway. It was the only place that I could go, because they kind of restricted it to the state that you lived in Italy. So it'd be as if, like the United States, you can only travel within Texas type deal. And so that was one of the places that just had a nice little medieval looking town. And it was nice. So we went there. But then I got to go to Milan, which was really nice. It's a great place. St. Charles Borromeo is there. And so I got to go visit his tomb. And then it's the place where Augustine was baptized by St. Ambrose. So a lot of history there.
Nice.
Great cathedral.
So you still were able to go around and do stuff.
Yeah, definitely still able
Some
to do that.
touristy things.
Yeah. I wasn't totally deprived.
So you've been hard at work studying. Did you finish your degree?
No. So this past year I started a new degree.
Okay.
So I had finished last year. I had finished my STB, is what they call it, Sacred Theology Bachelor's, or Bachelor's in Sacred Theology. Like kind of the general masters, that would translate to a more American system, like a general masters in theology, which everyone most priests get this kind of general master's theology degree. And now I started a specialization, a new degree, and a specialization of moral theology. It's called a license in moral theology. And so this license is a 2-year program, which is why I'm going back this year to finish that degree that I had started.
So you're a year into it.
I'm 1 year into it. Yeah.
And then after that,
then I'm back in June of 2022, I guess it would be, 2022, and I'll get a full-time assignment in the diocese, more full-time. And so, yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
let's talk about your ordination.
Yeah.
This is your wedding day.
Yeah.
What you've been building towards for the past how many years? The dream since you were a little kid doing your preaching in the shower, your homilies, you're finally there. What was it like?
Yeah, it was incredible. Just so much joy. I was so overwhelmed with excitement, happy. So many people there. It was exciting. You know, there was on the way in, we were all lined up. I remember, and I was seeing all these priests, all these deacons that I had known, and I went out to say hello to them and just celebrating. And actually, the procession for the Mass started without me. So,
oh, really?
Yeah.
What happened?
No one knew that I was back in the back of the line talking to priests and saying things. And so I went. So they grabbed me. They're like, Deacon Joseph, you got to come back up here. The procession has started. I was like, oh my goodness. So I went up, and luckily my classmates had waited for me so that we could all go in together. But the procession was kind of farther up. Yeah.
Okay, so it wasn't like the three of them went up and then you
No. They were
No.
generous enough to wait for me. I
was thinking of going back to the live stream and looking at that.
You should. You're going to see a large gap, and then all of a sudden us four come. In the procession,
because they were waiting for you.
They were waiting for me
because you're talking too much.
I was talking too much behind. It's a classic problem I have, to be honest. So it was awesome, and then I remember the procession in, seeing all the priests come in, and everything was just amazing. And the whole thing it's one of those things where you go to so many ordinations, you see all these things, and I think I talked to Father Chad and even Father Houston and Father Wayne a little bit about. It was amazing at the rehearsal that we weren't the ones running it. We were the ones that were receiving.
Oh, because you got so used to running it.
Yeah, you got so used to running it, serving it. You always had something to do, and this time it was for you. And it was really surreal to feel that. And then when you're in the moment, it's crazy. I mean, I always, even in my diaconate, I was struck by this, but I'm struck by it in the priesthood. When you have the litany of the saints, and the ordinands, the guy's going to be ordained, lay down, prostrate on the marble floor. You have the litany of the saints. At the end, we say, "Bless these chosen men," and that's surreal, always surreal that they're talking about me and everyone in that moment.
Yes.
That many people are praying for you at that moment specifically. And so that was, it's absolutely crazy. And it was amazing. Yeah, I loved every moment of it. It's a blur, to be honest. I mean, I'm sure people in their weddings would say the same thing. It's so exciting, but it's kind of a blur. You're such on cloud nine that, but it was incredible.
Was your whole family there?
Yeah, I had a great number of my family. So all my immediate family was there. My 2 brothers, my brother's wife and his kids, and my other brother.
Oh, they came in from out of town.
They did, yeah. So my oldest brother is married with 4 kids, lives in College Station, so he came in. And then my other brother actually lives in Atlanta, Georgia, so he came in with his girlfriend. And then my grandma came as well from Minnesota, which was really nice. She hadn't traveled at all at that point for COVID, and so she that was really, really a grace to be able to have her there. And she was really strict with herself throughout the whole year because she had wanted to come to my ordination. And so it was special to have her there for sure.
That was her driving force.
That was her driving force.
I'm isolating to be able to go to this ordination. Exactly. I'm wearing this mask so I can go to this ordination.
Exactly. Wow. She's like, I'm not going to miss it. And so it worked, and she was there. And then I had a great number of extended family. I think we had 40 or 50 of my extended family, cousins, aunts, uncles, all from out of town. Most of them don't even live in Texas. So it was great to see them travel a long way.
Now, the original plan was it was supposed to be a limited amount of people, right? Mm-hmm. But then, I think it was a week or so before, the Archdiocese said, all right, since the CDC has changed their guidelines, we're going to change our guidelines too. Next thing you know, there's a whole flood of people.
Yeah.
How many people were there supposed to be originally?
Originally, we were given about 125 invites. It was fluctuating a lot. So it was kind of in between 100 and 150 invitations we were given for seats, people that we were allowed to bring.
More or less, a little less than 600 people altogether.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And so that was going to be right at half capacity of the co-cathedral.
Okay. So people could distance a little.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so, but yeah, then as you said, just a couple weeks before we opened up, and it was kind of crazy.
Did it surprise you seeing all those people?
It really did. Yeah, it was, and that was pretty awesome because that's something I love about ordinations. Is you just it's packed with people and the joy that people have. It's beautiful to see, and we just haven't had that. Both of the ordinations last year were very limited.
Yes.
And so to see that was really, really powerful, and to be able to have so many priests, because we were going to be limited on the number of priests.
Oh, that's right.
And that's a very powerful moment in the ordination when the priests come by and lay hands.
Yes.
And so to have that many of my brother priests come in was just amazing. And
the other thing, and I'm not sure how aware you guys were of this, but this was really live streamed. This is, at this point, the Archdiocese had gotten the live stream thing down. It's already at the level of being a broadcast television style live stream. Were you guys aware of the cameras? Did you feel that the cameras were near you or on or anything like that? Or
no, actually, no, not really. It was they did a great job, I guess, of staying hidden and in great places. But yeah, I wasn't noticing that much of the cameras.
It's not going to be like a concert where they've got a camera right in your face.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's focus on that tear.
Yeah, exactly. We need that tear right there. Maybe one day they'll get that intense, but who knows?
Have a drone flying right in front of you while you guys are prostrate. Right?
Yeah, exactly. But I didn't notice it at all. But it was that is another benefit. I mean, the quality was definitely a lot better.
Oh yeah.
Than it was at the beginning, just because everyone's working out the kinks. At the beginning.
Exactly. And there was a shortage of equipment.
Yeah.
And all of that because they stopped producing because the factories had all shut down and everything. But the other thing that made it even huge is so the church is packed. Now you've got even more people live streaming because this is an event that everybody was looking forward to. This was the first big event for the Archdiocese since COVID.
Yeah.
Did you guys feel all that anticipation, electricity in the air with everybody excited about it?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I mean, it did feel like this big event that took place. And yeah, there was so much going on, to be honest, in the background of our minds, or at least mine, I should speak for myself, that I wasn't thinking about how this was probably the one open event that we've had in the Archdiocese, the first one since COVID.
Yeah.
But it definitely felt that way when you were there. The amount of energy and excitement, and I had a lot of even my Protestant friends, a lot of my Protestant brothers and sisters, who they were there, and they so it was very foreign to them. A lot of the things we did, but they did comment on how beautiful it was to see the priest come lay hands and then us share a sign of peace, and just it was kind of almost this feeling of kind of healing, like we finally have made it past a little bit of this COVID, where we can embrace each other now and get back to a little bit more normal. And
what was it like last year? Was there no embracing? Was there?
Yeah, I mean, I can speak.
I'm
trying to remember exactly what happened for the priesthood, but I think it was the exact same for us. I mean, in the diaconate, it was just a bow of the sign of peace from the deacons to deacons, and so I think the same with the priest. And
you were all masked up during the whole thing too.
Yeah. And so it was just a way different event, and everything was limited, as I said. So there was. This time we had probably about 80 priests. I mean, before it was like 10, maybe. So it was cool to see.
Did you ever talk to any of the other the priests that were ordained the year before? Did they ever tell you guys got the big treatment with with all the priests, with all the guests, and with? Did they ever say anything to you?
They were really pretty nice. They didn't give me a hard time about it. I mean, I think I'd said to them, I'm really, this is awesome. I'm sorry you guys didn't get to experience this a little bit, but they were understanding. I mean, I think if anything, it's probably some of the classes behind us that both of our classes might say, like, oh, you didn't have to experience just these limited numbers, because I think they might have had a little sympathy. It was definitely different, but they might have had a little sympathy on us because our diaconate was very restricted and very limited. So we had somewhat of an experience of it. Certainly for the priesthood is the one though that you would want it to be open for.
Yes,
so
exactly.
It was sad for those guys. But yeah, they've been nice. Maybe they're holding it back. They're waiting. They're giving us a little time to enjoy it, and then they're gonna rub it in a little bit.
In the back of their head, they're probably like, if I had paused my discernment for 1 year,
could have a huge celebration. Yeah, I doubt that regret's in their minds. To be honest, I would even if mine was limited and I knew the next year it wouldn't be. I'd much rather be a priest this year.
Oh yeah. Is there anything that during the whole experience that really sticks with you? Any one particular memory that you're just going to take with you the entire time, like up until you're old and gray? And
the biggest moment for me in my ordination that just, I was so happy, and they actually say, I think it's advice they sometimes give people if you don't want to cry in an event, to smile a lot. Because when you're smiling, apparently it's really hard to cry.
Oh, okay.
And I was just smiling. I wasn't trying not to cry, but I was so happy. I was smiling a lot in my ordination. So I didn't actually have any tears until we got to the Eucharist, the liturgy of the Eucharist. And I was brought up to be a concelebrant to help celebrate and so...
Yes.
That moment was the first time I actually had tears in my eyes, because I couldn't believe that then... like 30 minutes before, if I had said these words, nothing would happen. But now I say these words, and they confect the Eucharist. That was a moment that I think I'll probably take with me. It was kind of like, one, I was behind the altar looking out, and so it felt like a new position.
Yes.
And it just all kind of, wow, I can't believe this just happened, and that like I'm now celebrating this Mass. And so that was probably a moment where it hit me a little bit.
This is it.
Wow. Everything has changed.
I am a priest.
Yeah. I think one thing I've loved is confession, for sure. And that too, my first confessions and hearing confessions have been just a surreal moment as well. I think it's the most surreal because you're in a position that you've never really even witnessed or experienced. You've only experienced your own confession to a priest.
Yes.
And then suddenly as a priest, you're on the other side, and you've never been there. You've never even seen it. It's not like, oh, let me go watch this guy's confession, see how it goes.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, you're just, so it was a humbling experience and such an honor. But, and that was a surreal moment for me on day one, because the way I did my schedule is I had the ordination in the morning at 10, and then I heard the parish confessions that evening.
Wow.
And then I had my first mass at 5:30 p.m. that evening. So I kind of did the whole run. And I wanted to do it because it somewhat made sense in the schedule, but also that day was actually my 26th birthday.
Oh,
The day of the ordination was my birthday.
Oh, so you'll never forget that.
Yeah, I know. It actually was a grace because I forget dates all the time. So now I don't have to remember it.
Now the ordination date, it moved several times, didn't it?
The diaconate did.
Okay.
This one did not. This one was, I actually knew for about a couple years because we always do it first Saturday of June. And so I had looked ahead and saw, oh wow, it's going to be on my birthday because my birthday is June 5th. And I was like, well, you know what? It's going to be let's make this the best birthday ever. I'm going to have my first mass. I'm going to have confessions, everything.
Everything all on that one day.
All on that one day if it's possible. And so I did, and it was awesome.
Let's rewind to when you were laying prostrate.
Yeah.
All right. And the Litany of the Saints. Now, Father Houston said that you were all able to choose the saints, some of the saints. Mm-hmm. Do you remember which ones you chose?
Yeah, I chose Saint Therese of Lisieux.
I figured that was yours.
Yeah.
I heard that when I said that's probably Father Joseph's.
Yeah, that was
because you had mentioned your deep love for Saint Therese. Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, that was my number one choice. I also had Saint Teresa of Calcutta. I think was an alternate, and I'm trying to remember.
Because of your experience in India.
In India was my next one. And so I put those two, and the amazing thing is some of the ones my favorite saints are already in the litany, so you don't need to add any. So I put those two down. I think but yeah, like Saint Joseph, of course, he's already in there, would be number one for me. And then Saint Barnabas is a unique saint. That's my confirmation saint.
Okay.
But it's so he would be one that I put in there. Saint John Vianney, of course, for the priesthood. But yeah, Saint Therese was the big one that I wanted to be in there. And so
now you said you did your first mass. Where was that? Was that at your home parish?
It was St. Michael's in Lake Jackson. Yeah, that was there. It was very nice. I had a great turnout of family to be there for the 5:30 p.m. mass, and then I did the next two masses the next day. And actually, one of the cool things that I got to do is my nephew, who's also my godson, and one of my cousins, who's about 7 years old. They both needed to receive First Communion, and so we worked it out that I would give my nephew First Communion, and then his grandpa, who was a deacon, served at that mass and gave my cousin First Communion. So the next day, I was doing a First Communion mass. It was awesome.
That is great.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I saw that online.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. That's the nice thing about COVID. Everything's live streamed
after.
So
it's true. Yeah.
So I saw. I think all four of you. I saw all four of your first masses. Yeah, which was awesome. Yeah. Now, at the end of your first mass, you handed your parents.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful tradition.
Yeah.
Could you say something about?
So at the end of the first mass, I followed in the tradition that you give the maniturgium, which is the little cloth that the priest uses after the bishop will rub chrism on his hands and consecrating his hands for the celebration of the Eucharist. And then you go and you take this little cloth called the maniturgium and you wipe off the chrism. And then you give that maniturgium to your mother. And it often happens at the first mass, as I did it. And you give it to your mother, and it's this recognition that she has given you over to the Lord, and a gift back to her. And so the sentiment is that when she'll be buried with this maniturgium.
Yes.
And so that when she reaches the gates of heaven, then when the Lord says, "What have you done for me?" and she can say, "I gave you a priest," and then give him the cloth that I wiped my hands on. And then my dad received this stole that I used for my first confession. And so And yeah, the idea is that your dad, who is the first one to teach you justice and teach you about mercy, is the one who receives that stole. And
That is so cool.
Yeah.
And he can present that at the pearly gates as well.
Exactly.
Wow. That just those two things alone is almost worth the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just saying that, okay, Mom, Dad, I'm going to give you a leg up on your, give you a better shot of getting into heaven.
Exactly.
Become a priest.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Did they say anything to you, your parents? Anything in particular in your ordination? Or the first mass?
Yeah, I mean, they were so proud of me, and I think that was their big message to me. They were just so overwhelmed with joy and excitement and just grateful. They also were working really hard, so they put on the reception for me afterwards.
Yeah.
So they had a lot to do, and they did such a great job. It was beautiful. My mom made all the decorations and everything. My dad put together the food, and so it was a great celebration.
Where'd you have it?
We had it. There's a little civic center in Lake Jackson, right across from the street. So we had it there, and then we had a barbecue place from Lake Jackson, Brian's Barbecue. They're parishioners of St. Michael's, friends of ours. Brian's Barbecue catered in and had it for us, and so that was really nice.
How long do you have here? From when you arrived till you go back?
I got here May 22nd to get here a little early before the ordination, and I'll leave in September 15th. And so
that's a nice chunk of time to be here. So
it is
catching up with everybody.
Yeah, that's exactly what's been going on. I've been catching up with a lot of people, seeing a lot of people, and trying to just get to know some people that I hadn't seen in a long time and just spend time with them.
It's awesome that they're like all the regulations started getting lifted right when you arrived.
Oh yeah, it was huge. It was really helpful. And then now I'm assigned as parochial vicar for 2 months of July and August at Resurrection Church, and it's in Denver Harbor area of Houston, which is east of 59, right off of I-10.
So why that church? Why not here at St. Faustina?
I can't answer that question, and I don't know. But
they didn't say anything to you?
No, yeah, they assigned me there, and so it was. So it's good. It's been a great experience. So they don't give us the details of why they decided to send certain people certain places. So I know.
You're like, well, he had a short time here last summer.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I know. I need a little bit longer, right?
Exactly. And when you were here, it was during still most of the lockdown.
That's true.
Was still happening while you were here. You kind of had like the short end of the stick.
Yeah.
Where Deacon Houston, eventually Father Houston, he was here as a deacon for that year. So there were times when he was able to spend, when things started slowly lifting.
That's right.
Do you feel like you got cheated a little?
No, I mean, I don't, because everyone did, really. I mean,
well, that's true.
I wasn't the only one that had that difficulty, and I honestly was blessed to be here at St. Faustina. I love this place so much, and I knew it was already such a gift to be here that I didn't feel gypped at all. I mean, I was supposed to be in Mexico last summer studying Spanish, so this was something that I was just blessed to be able to be a part of. Father Houston was always going to be here, but he was gracious enough to let one of his classmates come in with him, and Father Dave Michael and Father Dat were welcoming for me. So it was mostly like I was just glad to have a home last summer, and so and then how awesome that it would be at St. Faustina. So yeah, it was a huge blessing last summer, and it's great this summer to experience a new part of Houston.
That's true. We can't
parish.
Keep you all to ourselves.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, but you did spend was it a week or a weekend here? Doing masses?
I did a couple masses on Sunday.
Did you keep Father Dad up late at night?
Yeah.
All your talking in the evening?
No, I actually didn't even stay at the rectory. Okay.
Was it because he was complaining?
Yeah, exactly. He's like, he doesn't let me stay in the rectory anymore. Yeah, so no, I was with my parents and drove up to do it. Yeah.
So Father Dad wasn't like, no, you can't stay here because you all talk too much. Keep me up late at night.
No. To be fair, I didn't ask, but I'm sure he'd be fine. But we definitely did keep him up. We had a great time last summer, all of us, and so it was great.
So 2 months as a parochial vicar there. Did you know on your ordination? So did you get a letter like everyone else did? So that's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Yeah, it was. So the tradition in the archdiocese here is that the day before your ordination, the Cardinal Donardo will take you aside and give you the letter of assignment. So the Friday before, right before rehearsal, he took each of us into the side room and just gave us our assignment. And so that's when he told me that I would be going to Resurrection Church. Yeah.
That's good, because I was thinking about that during the whole ordination. I'm like, the 3 other priests, they're going to have an assignment. I was like, everyone knows you're going back to Rome.
Yeah.
So there wasn't that suspense of where is he going to go? Yeah. Everybody guessing, placing bids or whatever,
Yeah.
So you knew that you were going to be sent somewhere for a couple of months.
I did know I would have a couple months.
Okay, so there was still that anticipation of where.
Yeah, not nearly as much. I mean,
of course.
Yeah, it was. I was wondering, and it was great to.
Did you guys, place bets or something, or even without money? Where who's going to get sent?
Oh yeah, we had all these different theories on what was going to happen, and
did it work out the way you thought it was for the most part, or were there big surprises?
I don't think I got any one of us correct. My initial guesses of where we would go. So I don't think I did. I'm not really sure. I'm trying to remember if any guys got them right. I think we knew someone would go to St. Vincent de Paul. I don't know if we knew it would be Father Houston. And so that was probably the only one that most of us kind of knew something was going to happen. That likely
because they needed somebody.
Yeah, we just knew that there was going to be a hole there, and so that's I think the one that maybe we had any idea that maybe someone would go there. But the other ones I think were just kind of great assignments, but we just didn't know, didn't expect it.
It's nice that you still got a letter, because it would have been kind of weird if here's your letter, you're going back to the Vatican, big surprise.
Yeah,
right?
You get to do what you knew you were going to do. Yeah, no, it was nice. It was nice to get a letter. So it's been great.
What do you have planned for the rest of your stay here? Is there anything else that you still have to do?
This just comes to mind. I have a random conference in Bismarck, North Dakota. I have to go out to for a couple days. So that's something I'll do in a couple weeks, just to go. And it's part of a certificate I'm getting that accompanies the degree in bioethics degree. So it kind of helps you with different things with hospitals, like hospital ethics.
Okay,
is what I need to focus on a lot, and what I've talked to. What it seems like the archdiocese really needs some guidance in some ways, because we have so many Catholic hospitals. So it's important that we have people who know the policies of different bioethical procedures and such. And so that's this certificate is going to be helpful. It's the National Catholic Bioethics Center that puts it on. And so do a 2-day seminar there, and then I have a certificate program throughout the year that I'll continue to work on. So I have that. In September, I'll have a little time for family. And I'll probably go on a little trip with my brothers. We had wanted to do that before my ordination, but it just didn't work out because I was taking finals, because my schedule in Rome is very different than the one here. So I was still in the midst of finals when my ordination rolled around.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I didn't really have time, and it would have been really stressful for me to leave the weekend before. And so, so we pushed off a brother's trip and until later. So we did it with my older brother when he got married, and so we wanted to do it for me, and then we'll probably do it for my other brother when he gets married.
Did you ever hook up with any of the other guys from your class or from the seminary that had discerned out?
That's a good question. I mean,
did any of them show up at the ordination? Or?
They did. So one of them that was in my class, always in my class, he was at the ordination. He is now, he discerned out of the archdiocese, but he's now entering with the Dominican the Dominicans here, the southern province. So he's just starting with them, and so since the path changed, he has a little bit more time before he becomes a priest. But he decided to become a religious priest. I met with some that weren't really my classmates, but were one above me. There was one guy who I was pretty good friends. We'd always play basketball together, and he came and he was married, had a couple kids. And
wow.
Yeah. And so, it's pretty interesting to see just how different paths take
Exactly.
place. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, after high school, see where everybody ends up.
Yeah.
Were you in the seminary at the same time as Father Ryan?
So yeah, I was. In the sense that we were both seminarians in the archdiocese, but I never actually overlapped in the same seminary with Father Ryan Stawaisz, because he went to Louisiana to start his.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
And then he studied in Houston, and I was in Dallas, and then
went to okay.
So him and I never really overlapped. I knew him fairly well. I mean, we weren't that close, but I knew him. So that was a pretty tragic moment for the archdiocese, right at the beginning of summer, and
right after the high of the ordination.
Yeah,
then that news hits.
Yeah, it was crazy. But he's I know he means a lot to this community here at St. Faustina, and he's such an inspiration. And it was actually pretty important for me in my own journey as beginning priesthood to see him and how faithful he lived his life.
Oh yeah,
and,
even all the way to the end.
Yeah, exactly.
We were supposed to have him on the show.
Really?
It was, it hurts me when I think about it, because we were supposed to have him on the show on a Monday. We were gonna record the interview, and the weekend before was when he started feeling bad and they had to rush him to the hospital. We could have had his story down, but that's life. That's God's plan. We'll find out why sometime,
exactly,
when we get there,
Yeah, we'll find out soon enough. But yeah, he's such a good man and a good priest to model.
I notice you've got like a bit of a tan going on.
Yeah.
Like, I guess you've been wearing sunglasses. You've been doing stuff at the church, Vacation Bible School, outdoors stuff. Is that what it is?
No, it's actually probably what happens is my pastor is out of town right now. And I take care of his dogs. He has 2 German Shepherds.
Okay.
So I'm spending a lot of time outside walking them around. They have a ton of energy. And so if I don't walk them around, things start going bad. So
okay. I thought maybe you spent some time with the youth outdoors playing sports or something.
No, I haven't. That's
a lot of walking for you to get a tan like that.
I know. Yeah, the youth, they usually do their sports after the sun goes down, which makes sense, or else you look like me. But yeah, no, I think it's that, and sometimes, I mean, I with so many masses, actually, we greet people outside. That I'm outside a good amount, but so that's
that's true. Yeah, after mass, you're outside shaking hands, saying hello to everyone, blessing, and
exactly. So I do spend a good while outside. Pretty often, but yeah, I'm not really exactly sure why I ended up with a tan. I do I've been running outside a lot as well, my own personal exercise, so that could have been contributed.
You're not able to do that much in Italy during the lockdown, I suppose.
No, yeah, they would allow exercise. There's only a few times where it was discouraged to even go exercise, but it was pretty hard to get out, and then I think my seminary was just wanted you to stay in. We had a gym that you could, and a track that I would run on, but
okay.
But it's nice to get out in the city of Rome and just run throughout the streets. I mean, it's just an experience you don't get to have outside of Italy, to see all those beautiful places.
So going back to Italy, what are the plans? So you said that you're going to finish your degree. It's another year. Mm-hmm. So after that, you come back to Houston, and what are the long-term plans for you? Are you going to become like a professor at the seminary? Is that what's going to happen? Are you being groomed for that? Or did they tell you what?
They don't tell you these things, to be honest. They don't tell you exactly what happens. I mean, so I actually, the short answer is I don't know. The long answer is probably that the degree that I'm getting allows me to teach at the seminary.
Okay.
So it gives me the opportunity where I could teach classes at the seminary, in the sense that I have the degree where I can teach at a master's level theology.
Okay.
So that is on the table, I guess, for me, since I have the degree. But like I said, it really depends on what Cardinal Leonardo decides and what the next bishop would want for me with my degree. And but I think mainly the idea is it gives Cardinal Leonardo a priest who has knowledge in these certain areas, and if he needs advice to call, he can. I'd be available to answer any questions or help maybe do some research in some areas that he has some questions on or something like that. So.
You got to have that pool of priests that are experts in certain areas.
Exactly. When things come up, you want to have certain priests that you can call and ask what's going on. And I'm not the only one that'll have a specialization in moral theology, and so he has a pool of priests that he can call in certain issues. So yeah, that's the kind of the long answer. But again, the short answer is that I just don't know what it'll look like. I know that. It'll be a lot of parish work. It wouldn't be like immediate to the seminary or immediate
maybe coming to Faustina.
Maybe, something like that would be certainly what it seems like would be my first assignment would be in a parish.
Yeah, make up for that summer.
Yeah,
that diaconate summer that got shortened and locked down and everything.
Exactly, exactly.
Do you have any other plans for the future for yourself when you get back or in Italy?
No, I mean nothing too concrete. I mean, in Italy this year we'll be kind of making up. Speaking of making up, we'll be making up for my time last year of not being able to go to some places that I wanted to go to, and I'll probably go travel a little bit to Spain. I want to get to Spain, Barcelona. I haven't been out there, and so just a couple places that I'd like to actually see that I haven't. I love skiing. I love going snow skiing, and so I've always wanted to ski the Swiss Alps. So I might try that this year. When it's cool. Already a kind of an expensive trip, but it's cheaper when you start in Italy versus starting in the United States. So I'd love to do that this coming year.
So all the other seminarians or everybody studying in the Vatican, do you all go out at the same time to get ordained and you all come back priests all at the same time? Is that how it goes?
Basically, yeah. I mean, especially for us Americans in the United States, I really can only speak of the United States, but for us, all of us generally are getting, in my class, are getting ordained this summer, and then most of us are coming back to Rome to finish the degree. Some guys, they'll just stay in their diocese based on the needs of the diocese that they need them to stay there. But all of us are basically ordained. There's a couple of guys that'll get ordained in August, and but most of us are now ordained that are going to be going back.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is really cool.
You leave deacons to come back priests, a whole bunch of you at the same time.
It is really cool, and it's going to be. I'm just looking forward to being a priest in Rome. I mean, that's going to be awesome because you get to go to different altars, go to different places where saints are, and celebrate Mass, and just a lot of places that you've been.
Celebrate Mass in different places too.
Yeah.
Wow, what an honor.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty awesome. It's a huge blessing.
It's like, Holy Father, move over. Yeah, I got this.
I need a little room. I'm using this altar, Frankie. No.
He's doing it. Yeah. He's over there doing the Angelus, and then you just kind of peek out of it. I'm just kidding.
No, you would see me in jail if that was the case. You'd see me in jail.
Try to slip past security. Is that
no,
so you can do the Angelus
doesn't work.
Him.
Doesn't work.
No.
Priests are a dime a dozen in Rome, so it's you don't get much special treatment.
Okay, so you don't get all that. It's not like flashing a badge and you're able to.
No. Not even close. Not even close. They might be more skeptical of priests in Rome than they are
really
normal people. Yeah.
All right. So now that you've gone through the whole experience, it's all culminated with you getting ordained, and you're able to stop and think for a while because you're not in your studies. What advice or thoughts would you like to share with any young people who may be considering entering religious life?
Yeah, that's a great question. I've always said, and I don't think it's really changed, is that you have to have a foundation of a friendship with the Lord. Mm-hmm. And it's something that even in high school was kind of how my faith really started growing, was just like kind of like a childish way of seeing that like Jesus is your best friend. And so if he's your best friend, you got to spend time with him. You got to, and kind of just seeing my relationship with him through that lens has really, it's got me through here, and it continues any struggle that I have to have a reliance on like a true friend that is the Lord, and spending time with him in adoration and being in his presence. It's necessary, and you have to do it. And so I tell people it's kind of the starting block that it has to be in place before you can even make any other recommendations. We like to try to see what like steps 2 through 7 are. But like if you don't have number 1,
that
2
foundation,
through 7, you don't have the foundation, the first step of having that friendship with the Lord, and just kind of a commitment to that. The next ones that you're going to get all jumbled up, and then after that, I always tell people too, like, it's good to just do something. There's a little bit of a danger with people that are kind of worried about discernment or wondering, should I be a priest? What should I do? One thing to do is just to act, to make an action. We can get in this like whirlwind or vacuum of like, let me just think, and at some point I'll come to the right answer.
Oh, you're just spinning your wheels because you're caught in your head.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I tell guys when they ask me what to do, and I said, you know what, like just pray. Yeah, have that foundation and the friendship in the Lord, and then just do something. If all of a sudden you decide, I kind of want to be married, well, then go ask a girl on a date. Or if you maybe call the vocation director. Just make a step, and then the Lord will lead us when we're trying to make a step towards the Lord. He's going to help guide us if that's the right step. That was my discernment. I called the vocation director, who happened to be Father Dat, and it was a great conversation. And then I really loved it. And so then I made another step. Okay, I'll go to visit the seminary. That was great. I loved it. And it just moved.
So even if you're having doubts, take a step and you'll be pushed away if it really isn't for you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that's it's the same thing. I mean, in the same way, when I was a senior in high school and I was kind of encountering this call, I started talking to a girl and trying to, I was trying to run from it, but it didn't work out. Like, I think in the same way, like I was kind of, the Lord was like, no, these are the steps that are right. And when I was making those steps, there was encouragement to continue to go, versus the other steps I was taking were not right. And I knew that. And so I always encourage people to move forward. I've heard it said that, we can't think our way into right acting. We act our way into right thinking. And so,
because people get caught up in the thinking.
Yeah.
Too much.
They really do. It's easy to overthink things, but we know what are good actions. So if you act according to good actions and do good things, it's good to call the vocation director, or it's good to take a girl on the day. Those aren't bad things. You're doing good, holy things, and you're acting. It can help us to really think properly about what's going on and to really hear the voice of the Lord and what he wants for us in our lives.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Father Joseph White.
Yeah.
Have you gotten used to hearing that?
Not quite.
Slap yourself in the face every once in a while.
Yeah. It takes maybe the second time to say it that I realize it's for me. Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. It was an honor.
We wish you the best of luck, going back to Rome, and we hope to see you here, assigned to St. Faustina in the future.
That would be great.